Alright, we're going to be testing out Thrunite's new BSS V5, which is running an SST emitter in it. This is the SST 70. And we'll be talking about this light after I'm done with the shining and showing you what it looks like. But I got my Sony A7S cranked up to 204,800 ISO to show you what I'm going to be shining at. And it is nighttime. And that first tree there is 62 meters. Then we got a tree down way on the other side of the mailbox, and I am going to get them weeds cut by the road. That's 94. And we got a hillside up here, pushing up about 240 meters, close to 300 at the top. And the neighbor's farm, where the moon is shining, is a good half a mile away. Now we got different modes on this flashlight. That when you're into turbos, 2676 lumens out of this 1-inch tube flashlight. That'll run 2 minutes, but then it drops down to 610 lumens for 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm going to let it run at 610 lumens so you get a good idea what that is. But first, let's drop this camera down, ISO back down to what the human eye can see, and that would probably be about right. We'll go into lower modes first. That is the lowest mode, and it is reflecting off that tree at 62 meters. And that's 29 lumens, and it runs for 53 hours on this mode. If I were to kick it up to medium, that's 355 lumens, and it's going to run for 4.5 hours. And I do believe on medium, you can see that tree at 94 meters away. Now to hold it again, high, it easily hits it. We're going to just start down there, that tree line that's pushing up to 130 meters away. I'm sorry, about 130 all the way down to about 170. I'm going to let this run down on high mode, because on high it drops down. It's at 1413 lumens, and that runs for a couple minutes, and then it's going to drop down to 606 lumens for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Tell you what, we're going to pause, shut the camera off, and when it drops, then when it drops down, we'll look at that 606 lumens. That runs for a couple hours. Okay, I've had this flashlight on for about 4 minutes now. This is still a high mode. I don't know if it's any dimmer. Maybe even 5 minutes. That's the high mode. Let's move it over where we can see better. That high mode is pushing up to 200 meters. I'm going to click it. The thing didn't drop down. We're going into turbo. That's turbo. Look at that damn thing. That's out of a flashlight you can stuff in your pocket. Tree at 62. Taking that hillside up there quite well. Not seeing no wildlife. Can move it over that farm. There's the moon. Reflecting off there pretty good. This thing will light the whole valley up. Get cool or what? You know, I better make sure I'm focused. Wait for it to drop down again. I'm still in turbo. I do believe it's ramping down. Yeah, you can shine deer with this very easily. Hard to see in the camera if there's wildlife. I'm going to click it off. And we're going to go back into turbo. So I do believe it's ramped down to that 610 lumens. It's got a lot tighter beam than what I was thinking it would. It's powered by one 18650, and it's a beautiful flashlight. Let's click it off. Yeah, there's turbo. See how it ramped down? It's like something might be up in that tree. It could be snow. Yeah, that's a full 255 meters there. Closer range, it's going to burn this tree down. Ample amount of time, run time on that turbo mode to get the job done. In high mode, I think it runs longer in a couple minutes, easy. But just medium, you can see quite a ways with it. Now what we'll end up doing is comparing this to some headlights, or maybe I should walk down the road and I'll just shine it back quick. Pretty awesome flashlight. Now, let's put that red lens on quick. Okay, here goes that red lens on turbo. Shines out quite a ways. Enough to hunt with, that's for sure. Punches out pretty good. We're going to try it up against my ATV headlights. They're LEDs. They're just as bright as a car headlight. Alright, you'll have to excuse the messy driveway. It just snowed here, and then it warmed up. Here's this Thrunite up against my ATV lights, which are very bright LEDs. Thrunite, ATV. Thrunite, ATV. It drowns them out pretty good. And I consider them lights brighter than car headlights. I don't know if it'll do it on high. Oh yeah, shining pretty decent on high too. Okay, here's that BSS. Pretty awesome looking flashlight. It's got Thrunite's typical tail switch, and then a side switch, and these strike bezels on these BSS's. If a person were to sharpen that up, they're already kind of sharp. That would be good for protecting yourself out in the wild, that's for sure. It's an awesome looking flashlight. You got their typical blue light showing when the battery's charged. Comes with a 3100 milliamp 18650 11.16 watt hour battery. These are some excellent batteries. USB-C fast charger lanyard. There's that red filter. I know it don't look red, but when you go through it is. And a decent case for it, and a dual use belt clip. Kind of covered the specs on it, but just turning it on, click it on and off, hold it, go to low, medium, high. When it's off, you go into that firefly mode. Back switch, of course, is the turbo. And this does get rather hot, rather fast, but it's regulated. Oh, by the way, yeah, USB-C charging port. I really like this, the whole ergonomics of this flashlight, the looks too. We might do a sit here with it on turbo. Right now I'm not even at 65 degrees. Up to 80 already. 90. There's 98. 99. Right out on the end it gets the hottest. There's a little over 100. Well, where you hold it, it's down into the 70s and 80s. 107. 108. That is on turbo. 111, 12, 13, 14. About as hot as it's going to get. About 114 was its hottest. And then it started winding down. Now the beam pattern on this thing, I'm going to hold it 2 feet away from this glow-in-the-dark board. It's not an actual spot, but it is fairly focused. Let's turn these other lights off. It's a pretty good, decent beam pattern on it. As we talked about outside, 2676 lumens. So there you are, the BSS V5 by Thrunite. Check that link out down below for this. Very pocketable 1-inch tube flashlight. Quite a few different modes on it. Awesome light for protection when you're out in the wilderness. You could blind something. Got a strike bezel on the end. Red light for hunting purposes. Quite a few accessories. Awesome all around light. Check it out below. So there you go. Till the next time.